Hello there, friends! As we all expected, many teams have been dealing with reshuffles since the beginning of the new year. Astralis are upsetting the community, Bumych seems to have been left without a team again, and more. So, let's get straight to it. We'll start with the highly anticipated news from Astralis. As you know, recently all charges against Hunden were dropped. By the way, his nickname is translated from Danish as dog. ESIC reviewed his case, decided not to argue with the lawyers of famous for all the wrong reasons coach, and removed all his bans. Now he can safely return to the pro scene again. However, the community does not like him, to put it mildly. He leaked heroics tactics, then proceed to say that the players knew everything about the coaching bug, and in general many people call him a rat for this. On the other hand, we have Astralis, who pretty much care about their reputation. They even kicked out Config from the composition purely because of his fights and drunken brawl. But it was a no-brainer for them to sign Hunden with a certain unpleasant history behind his back. The other day they officially announced that he is now their head analyst. Astralis seems to have a soft spot for banned coaches. Ave, Castle, Hunden, they all have bans from Valve at the majors. That's hat-trick, isn't it? By the way, we will talk more about this particular player of Navi Jr. later. Anyways, here's what the Astralis sports director says about this signing. He is an insanely talented coach and analyst. I'm glad that we managed to come to an agreement with him, because due to his knowledge, he is a very sought-after specialist. We had a lot of conversations with Nikolai, as he was one of the coaches banned by ESIC. As a club, we do not approve of his actions, but we also need to remember that the disqualification is over. He has suffered his punishment. Of course, we know about Nikolai's past and what he had to go through, but I have no doubts that he will be very useful for our team as a person and as an extremely experienced analyst. Almost all the other initially banned coaches subsequently got a job, and some even stayed in the organizations in other positions. No special rules apply to Hunden. There is also Castle in our team, who was also banned and served his sentence, as well as Nikolai. It turns out that leaking heroics tactics to Astralis at the time was not for nothing. They immediately made their opponent a head analyst for betraying his team. The community, of course, is fuming about this. Here, for example, what FaZe analyst says. Fuck, this is really happening in 2023. Come on, Astralis, let's get Zoner and his assistant too. Such a shame. I don't even need to choose my wording. Here's James Banks' opinion. I completely see this as a bad move for Astralis through and through. Part of me wanted to believe they wouldn't do it. It's another plus for Heroic though, and making them look better in the eyes of the Danish fans that only 2 years ago were booing them over Astralis. Friends, and what do you think about this announcement? Are Astralis going to hit rock bottom, or is everything okay? The second extra of the recent days was Overdrive's inside info. According to his information, Virtus.pro are removing Norbert and signing Kairon. No one could see that coming for sure, given that they are the current champions of the major. Let's sort out what's going on in general. First, as I said, Overdrive announced it. Then it was confirmed by Dexerto journalist Luis Mira, and this is a very authoritative source. Here's what he said. Heard the same. Kairon was linked with the Bad Boom team Bumych is supposedly creating, but I guess the opportunity to join the major champions was too good to pass up. And James is a big fan of Kairon. He has named him as his bold prediction twice. Then Overdrive decided to speak about it again.
Расскажу, почему инфа про Фейс была. Кайрон должен был подписываться с командой Bad, где играл Bumych, но в какой-то момент отказался, и прошла инфа, что он получил предложение из топовой команды. И параллельно этому появилась инфа, что в Фейзах Рейн уйдет на неопределенный отпуск из-за рождения ребенка. Ну и там какие-то слухи пошли, что там будет какой-то неизвестный игрок. Ну вот я все сложил и такой вот выдвинул предположение, что Кайрон попадет в Фейс, хотя это, такой прям фантастический сценарий. И вот какое-то время прошло, и вот вскрылись данные, вскрылась информация, что Кайрон идет в Outsiders.
Immediately, Norbert's girlfriend, Cindy, stood up for him. Norbert was kicked by the players, not the club itself. His teammates decided that they were too strong. They want to win in Paris. That's alright, karma exists though. Norbert himself denies all this.
Никто не кикал, пацаны. Да, Синди много чего можешь наговорить. У вас нет какой-то проверенной информации, а вы постите, типа, да, она разбушевалась. Что-то еще за язычком своим не следит.
In general, this is all the information about this unexpected decision so far. You can have different opinions about this, but when two reliable insiders confirmed this move at once, in my opinion, everything is crystal clear to everyone. Well, how do you like such a replacement? Is it better to have a promising young Kayron or the greatest on the pro scene Norbert? Write in the comments below. But let's move on. Ahead of us, we have a bunch of news about the reshuffles. Firstly, several players became free agents at once. This is Woxic, his contract is over, as well as Mantus. Now there are two good offers that can be signed for free on the pro scene at once. My bad, there are 3 of them actually. EG have also officially announced that they are saying goodbye to Cirque. Now, offers in many teams will definitely feel more pressure after such news. Let's think. For example, it would be possible to take someone stronger than OC to join Liquid. It's unclear what's going on there with Nikodos, as it looks like he's switching to Valorant. And there is no official offer in NIP. And speaking of which, it looks like from January 19th, Alexi B's team no longer will need a sniper. According to Deserto, they have submitted Hat-Trick as a part of the lineup for the future Blast. So in less than a couple of weeks, we will most likely see the youngster in the new team. If he also gets to play against Navi in the first games, it will be quite interesting. Another exciting thing is that Godsend are already teasing their audience with a new lineup. They posted a picture with 5 players, and apparently they have already decided on the new team. Everyone immediately thought it was Bad News Eagles. In fact, that would be an excellent deal. The Eagles constantly play at the majors and very successfully. However, their manager Banks quickly denied all this. He wrote that they did negotiate, but it happened before the major in Rio. After that, there were no more dialogues. I wonder who will join the new team. Now there are just a bunch of free agents. It's even possible to assemble a team purely with offers. And the final thing on the reshuffles is that it looks like we won't see the announcement of the Bad Boom team soon. At least that's what people have been talking about. Apparently, since they couldn't come to an agreement with Kayron, who eventually chose to go to Jame, their other players began to have second thoughts. So, for example, there are rumors about Bumych. Something like he will not be in the composition at all, and in general the entire Bad Boom team, the project, has been frozen. If this is really the case, then we seem to have lost a very interesting team on the pro scene. But let's hope that's not true, because I can't even imagine where else Bumych could go. He could wait for Nefani to make a mistake, in case if suddenly Cloud9 will fail at the next major. Or he could become a part of K23. But of course, this would be a downgrade. In general, we're just waiting for the news. And the last thing to mention on the news is a smaller insight from MSL on the stream. What is the salary of Astralis players? I would say they earn as much as Evil Genius's players. Probably some of them earn even more than the rest. I'm sure that Device has the best contract among all. Probably Glaive and Xipnix get around $31k. Blamef is about the same. Most likely Bass has the lowest salary among all. I think that this was quite precise. Nobody says, well, I get about 31,000. People usually tend to round numbers, so I think MSL definitely knows something. Not a bad salary for the top 19 team in the world. Well, friends, and that's all for today. If you want a review video of every place in the HLTV's top from me, then write about this in the comments below. See you soon.